Melissa Walsh from Melissa Walsh Healing. And Melissa and I have worked together for, wow, over a year now. And I'm excited to do more of these interactions and sharing with a variety of people uh, to try to communicate how we can better use a number of tools and techniques for health and well-being, including Tai Chi and Qigong. So I'm Jude, and I have this interesting history of being a biologist for 30 years with the government and understanding nature. And then at the same time, this parallel track of learning Tai Chi and Qigong and Taoism. And I really love to put them together and explore the energetic aspects of these practices. It's not martial arts, it's not learning how to do some form perfectly. It's really the essence of these practices, which is the energetic aspects, the I go out on a limb to be in the multidimensional world and try to merge the physical and metaphysical together. And this is really parallel with people like Melissa who teach personal growth and wellness through a variety of things, practical to the spiritual. And we've talked quite a bit about how these different programs have helped us and now how we work together to bring people a variety of practices to move them into their next room. And so, Melissa, uh, please share with us just a little snippet about what you do and your healing program.
Sure. Oh my gosh, Jude, thank you for having me. What I loved about what you said is like you have these parallel tracks, like the biology piece, the connected to nature piece, that's the work that you did. And I think to most of us that seems like the regular thing. But also you have a gift and a passion for helping people heal using a variety of different ways. One that has been the most prominent in my life while working with you is the intuitive healing that you brought me through Tai Chi. And I also feel like our paths are similar because my background is in medicine, the regular, right? um, you know, I've been working as a physician assistant for the last 10 years. You know, I went through the regular hoops, societal expectations and standards. I have that. You know, I have helped people heal the physical body in lots of different ways throughout my last 10 years. But I saw a gap. I saw a gap where I was really good at putting band-aids on people. But then the problem is that people would come back and they're like, yeah, I feel it's better, but there's something else. Like I'm not quite where I want to be. And in order to help people with that, I had to go beyond the walls of the clinic because I wasn't in a space where I could have the conversations. We could have the time that we could open up to other ways other than the Band-Aid. And I love Band-Aids because sometimes you need the Band-Aid in order to keep going. But what else? What else is there? And I have found working from the inside out and the outside in to be the most helpful. And Jude, and working with Jude, he has really helped me connect the physical body to all of the other aspects, the mind, the spirit, and really come to that center place.
So,
which has helped me on my healing journey.
Thank you. And Melissa's it's family day today, so she's got her boys home.
Okay, then you have to say hi. Look, say hi.
Hi. So I
Bryce
have a
loves joining us in our Tai Chi sessions. Of
yes, he
course,
does.
he's joining us in our Facebook Live. He can feel the energy already.
He's participated in the past too in Tai Chi
Loves
classes. It's
it. He loves it.
great. So, I've been thinking about a quick question to follow up with that is when people feel something is not going well with their health, but it's not that they fell and hurt their elbow. Do they? It seems like they still go to the clinic or the doctor because it's like even if you're super stressed out and have mental, uh, um, you're just having trouble with life. There isn't a storefront that says, I'm having trouble with life. I'm going to
Right.
go in and get help. Is it still common when you were working, did you see people come into the clinic not for anything acute, but for this chronic stuff?
Totally. And it kind of just depends on which space I was working in. I worked in family practice. I've worked in rheumatology in the hospital clinic setting. I've been in integrative and functional medicine. Probably in 10 minutes, please. Stay out there. Thank you. And, there's been this kind of running kind of joke in all of the offices I've been at is, gosh, I feel like I'm coming to you to fix my joints and be my psychiatrist at the same time, because there was always this organic conversation that surfaced about how they were feeling in their life. Whether that's you're overwhelmed or there's lots of stress coming. And so it's never really only my physical pain. It's usually exacerbated by something that tends to be an emotional stressor, which that is happening because there's another underlying cause, whether that's an underlying fear, an underlying doubt, an underlying insecurity, whatever it may be, which then goes into, okay, what are we really here to do on a grander scale? So there's lots of different levels that and layers that actually tend to be peeled back or revealed in the process of healing. So yes, people initially come in for maybe a physical concern. Sometimes not. Sometimes it's I'm just anxious, I'm having panic attacks. Sometimes it's I can't sleep because my mind doesn't shut off.
Yeah.
But regardless if it's the elbow or the panic attack, we're still talking about more than what meets the surface, because that's where the healing truly begins.
Yes, thank you for that. And you and I have talked about what practices are out there that can integrate the physical, the mental, and emotional at the same time, because we know that that's real healing when we can go through that.
Yes. And just to give you a little backstory on my own journey, and I'm going to explain this because I feel like a lot of you can resonate with this, I was really good at ignoring my body. I mean, my body was the last thing I even wanted to pay attention to. It started like I didn't like anything about it, first of all. And then it was hurting, whether that was I was having headaches, neck tension, my hips were hurting, backache, and it's like, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm trying to ignore it because I don't want to soak in my discomfort or my pain. So hand me some ibuprofen so I can get the show on the road. And I have I have people to help that I felt like were in worse places than me. So why should I be complaining? Just ignore it, right? But after a while, all of that catches up to you, or it caught up to me. And I mean, I was so good at avoiding all of my physical symptoms that one day my body stopped, like it stopped working, literally. There was I was sitting in my office when I was working at the hospital clinic, and suddenly I was having trouble with my vision. I could barely walk. I couldn't speak, and I couldn't move my hands to do anything. I couldn't move my arms.
Wow.
Like my body was under so much stress and so much avoidance of all of the signs through pain and exhaustion, essentially, I was feeling, that it froze. I'm like,
Wow.
that's the universe's way to say hello, like pay attention, listen. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to keep going. I can ignore it. I can avoid it. You know, there's people worse off than me, obviously, out here. And can't I just focus on them? No. But that was my wake up call. And I feel like along my path, I learned things hard and fast. There isn't like a gradual ease into things. I just, for whatever reason, didn't sign up for that. But it was my wake up call. Pay attention. Pay attention. Your body has been speaking to you this whole time and you're not listening. And it
Oh,
was,
that's so common.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was even hard for me, you know, years go by and I'm on a new path now and time to give focus to the body again. Go to the gym. Go get physical exercise. I was in so much resistance. You guys, I couldn't. Like, I felt like, why can't I go on a walk? How hard is that? Walk around the block. But like, there is something, I was in so much resistance to that until I started working with you, Jude. And I don't even know if you know this part, but I feel like what you helped me with was a great bridge between the mental spiritual space that I really like to hang out in and my bringing it into the physical body so that I can now manifest things into this physical space.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. When we had our first session, we recognized that your energy and your spirit really did not fully, you weren't fully in your body. You were still, it was so painful in various stages that you learned how to kind of stay out here most of the time. And then after our first session, it seemed like you came back into your body fully, and it was quite an awakening for you. Is
Yes.
that true?
And then I felt present in my physical body is the only way I know how to say it. And the resistance to the exercise lifted. Like I was now able to like go to the gym 3 days a week. I do that type of physical activity because now I feel like I can, where I think things are just so disjointed between my physical body, mental, emotional body, my spiritual body. Like it was so disjointed that I knew I should do it where it would probably benefit me, but I like couldn't go. And now I can. Now there is definitely underlying fears that came up in that process, but like Jude, you have an amazing way at just helping me, and I know everyone else that you help through those little transition times to make that smoother versus just trying to get stuck in the mind space of like, oh, I should, but I can't, but why can't you? You know, that's crazy maker. Do you guys
Amazing.
relate to this? I mean,
Yeah,
crazy maker.
and we talked about these telltale signs that our bodies show. Like you and I have talked about it, I can read your body's energy field, and one of the easiest ones is I'm relaxed.
Remember when I first came to you? That's how I was. Totally square. You guys see this? Like I was like this. And I thought this was normal.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of it, I was like this. Now, I don't know. Jude could probably see that this side is a little higher right now than this side, and I can feel it. I'm trying to pull it down so he doesn't notice so much. But but it's amazing how the body holds on and actually reveals itself, reveals what would you call it, Jude? The imbalances, or like shows you what it needs and
Yep.
where.
Yeah. And this is the this is where the ships start to part in the Tai Chi world, because one can just continue down the path of copy and, I'm doing Tai Chi. But if you want to use it as a tool for this health and well-being, and really it's invoking its potential more, like, wow, I used to tell myself this, so I can do this, so what,
Yeah.
what is it, just so I can stand rooted and hold five people pushing on me and they can't push me over. My teacher taught me how to do this. It took me a long time and I finally got it, But am I going to just stay there and just say, "Wow, I can do that,"
Yeah.
What's really rewarding for me is to open a door for others to see themselves. Like, I just did a Tai Chi class and my hands are all puffy and they're red, which shows the energy is flowing. So when I got out of bed, it wasn't quite like it is after a Tai Chi session. And then I really have over these 30 years really deepened my understanding of how to use these as a tool to feel relaxed and let our bodies start to heal. But it's not just physical and physiological.
Yeah.
We're opening up this new consciousness that allows for us to express our emotions, to identify those places that we hid. It's like, well, I've always had a crappy relationship with my sister and I'm never going to deal with it. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden it comes up in a way that's manageable. Like, oh, just like you said, the bridge gets made and then it doesn't seem so difficult.
Yes.
And that's what's so, I'll say this last thing, the tool of Tai Chi and Qigong practice and the breathing and the just being present and setting your backpack down for a little while and going, oh, all of a sudden it doesn't seem so bad, and then you could take another step. Does that resonate with you?
Yes. And I feel like it feels hard when you're only using one piece of yourself to try to figure out the solution. So, like, if you're trying to only use your mind to muscle it, to figure it out, which I feel like most of us start with,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's hard. If you're only using, I'm thinking, the spiritual, which might be, I'm only going to pray about it, but you're not really connecting with your body in a healthy way. You're not trying to get your mind into more of a positive, forward thinking motion. Like, that's probably going to take a while if you're just sitting on your couch only praying, right? Like, only doing that piece,
Yeah.
because we're given a mind and a body to use too. It's a piece of it. And if you're only busting your butt in the gym and trying to make your physical body do something so you're going to feel better, and you're not putting any attention on the mind or your spirit of who you are and your existence, that's where I feel like it gets really hard. And I think Tai Chi does a beautiful job at, just through the movement, of connecting the body, the mental emotional body, and the spiritual body all together to make space for your own inner realizations, your own inner ahas. I mean, I always tell Jude, man, I get the best ideas after Tai Chi. Like, I feel like I get the greatest ahas and, like, yeah, I'm going to do that after Tai Chi, because you're in that center space of connection with yourself, and it just comes through, versus having to keep looking for the answers everywhere and feel like you're hitting your head on a brick wall.
Totally, totally. I'm going to stand up for a minute. And so that's what Zero Point Tai Chi means, is to get a person in that space and in that mindset where everything is integrated. And so some of you may have seen people doing postures of qigong exercises, and they can really stretch down and they hold their hands, but having any rigidity to make it look pretty takes away from the integration. That's that's what's one of the most challenging things to communicate to the people that I talk to, is my passion to share this integration concept. So it doesn't thrill me to watch people just copy their teacher and to look pretty. It's how well is your energy flowing, how well are you connected with yourself, how can you get in this 0 point field that Melissa was talking about, where everything just seems to flow. You feel relaxed, you breathe, and then your creative ideas come back online. You go talk to your kids, and it's all okay. They spilled the milk, and it's okay.
Yes.
That's the stuff. Does that resonate with you?
Yes. I mean, it's true. And what I also love about this is, we're all different. We're all in these different seasons, whether it's, we're working on our physical body. Maybe we're trying to get our head space right. Maybe we're trying to connect with the divine within us, and we're wanting to deepen our spiritual connection with ourselves and our God or universe or whatever. It doesn't matter what season you feel like you're in, because it's just about connecting the dots and connecting our all the parts of us. And so it doesn't matter what season you're in or what you think you need in that way. This just connects it together, and whatever it is that you need next reveals itself. It's fascinating the way it works.
It is, and that's what's drawn Melissa and I together even more, to partner and incorporate the introspection that she brings and her ability to really tune in and to know the information to help people realize in their personal growth. And then if you add in this physical and metaphysical practice through movement at the same time and breathing, it seems to be a real nice complementary set of activities. Does that resonate with you?
I keep just getting this feeling to mention, maybe you can speak on this, is the consciousness of our physical body. I don't remember if it was you or somebody else, but somebody told me, could have very well been you. Like, what if your physical body was like a friend, like your best friend that really wants to work with you and help you, and only wants the best for you. Like, I hadn't thought of my physical body like that before. Like, it has its own intelligence almost. I felt it to be separate as just like the thing that's my meat suit that I have to be in while I'm here on earth. But when I had that realization, like, oh, it's working for me. It wants to work with me. It wants to work for me. It wants my loving attention. It wants to be soft. It doesn't want to be judgmental and hard and rough. Like, not soft and mushy. You guys, I don't mean like that. But it just wants to be in that flow for me and wants to be like a best friend for me. I was like, whoa, and how have I been treating it? Ignoring it, judging it.
Isn't that amazing? I'm glad you brought this up, because most of us don't have that deep connection with our body, in part because the human body and our consciousness has two basic nervous system functions. One is the sympathetic and one is the parasympathetic. That people may have heard of that before. And one way to boil it down is the sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight stressed out one. So as soon as you get stressed, your body contracts and you kind of want to, get away from the danger, and then you can release. So the parasympathetic is the calm, chilled out, functioning one. But what's amazing about this is that when we're in the sympathetic, stressed out zone, which many of us have talked about, the chronicness, it's not just that you're worried for your life and then you run away and then it's all better. We just have, this chronic sympathetic nervous system, and it causes your cell to be stressed and tight and shuts down, and it can't physiologically function very well. So when we move into the parasympathetic, the literal cell function just goes, ah. And you can partner with your body actually almost cell by cell, because you are chill and you're relaxed, and yet you still fully function. Like you talked about, Melissa, you get your creative ideas, right? So then you learn, because we're not taught this in school, right?
I wish.
Oh, if that's what,
It
we're
could have streamlined a lot in my life.
Oh, it would have been so good, right? So the instructor says, "Hey, man, stay calm and live life as much as you can, and in this relaxed state, and you'll be healthy, strong. Your bones will be dense. You won't get you won't get cells that turn into problems, and your body can't get rid of them. And so then when you're 50, you find out the cancer is there because your body has been under all this stress." And so Tai Chi and Qigong are not the only tools to use. It's just that they resonate for me because I can softly move my body and keep it strong and fit. And yet at the same time, I'm in this parasympathetic consciousness that, like Melissa, you work with people to help them discover their own healing and health and well-being. And
Yes.
we can stay in this softness. It's just so much easier.
Yes, for sure. Like, which is why I wanted to partner with you and collaborate with you so we can together, bring our zone of genius, so to speak, our thing that we have, to help people get to that space. I've tried lots of different things, and I think there are lots of great things. It just depends on what you're led to, the season. There's a season for everything. But I have to say, in my most recent years, where I am like up leveling quickly, I think this modality, if we're to call it that, through Tai Chi and Qigong, has really helped be this catalyst to support how quickly I feel like things are moving and shaking with me.
That's cool. That's that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have a couple things each coming up. I'm offering a free webinar on March 21st, Sunday. And I want to explain a few of these things, do about a 20-minute practice session. And I want to weave in nature too. I haven't done this much in the past, but it's what I do for myself. And an example of that is Melissa has a retreat coming up, and it's in Featherville, Idaho, and there's a hot spring there. So those of you who live in the West, you know hot springs are prevalent. Those in the East coast of the country, it's pretty rare. But when one sits in that hot water that bubbles up from the earth, you're connecting with nature, you're connecting with the earth, you're connecting with your body. This integration consciousness just gets easier and easier. And so these are the things that my instruction is going to evolve into this year, is to really bring in these integrations, including natural processes and nature.
I love that. And it just reminds me of, this is like the easiest one. Nature is the easiest one. If you think about it, like if you're going on a hike, how you feel so good when you're out in nature, because you're connecting to what is already in yourself. Like it's almost like it's amplifying who you already are, and you feel so good in that connected space. Or like when you go camping, or whatever you're doing outdoors, gardening, when you're in that space, you're already connecting to something that exists within yourself. And I love hearing that, Jude, because that's essentially what that is, and it's going to be amplified adding that into the Tai Chi Qigong practice.
Thank you. And I think part of what really motivates us is we really want to help people. There's just a genuine interest that we have to help other people live a better life and discover these things for
Yes,
themselves.
because you did it. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's where our passions come from. Like it helped me so much. I want to share it with you.
Yeah.
If we can again let's streamline some of this stuff now that we now have a way where before we didn't know what we didn't know, but now there is a way.
So where do people find more about you?
Sure. Right now, the best and easiest way is probably on my Facebook page. I do have a website, melissawalshhealing.com, but I'll admit over this last year, it's probably not as up to date as I would like it to be. However, check me out on Facebook, either Melissa Walsh Healing or my personal page is Melissa Walsh, and you'll see all the info about the upcoming retreats, which the one next weekend where Jude will be joining us for 2 virtual sessions is next weekend. But that one has sold out. But the next one will be May 21st through the 24th, where I'm so excited to say Jude will be joining us with that as well. And you guys, the work that Jude has brought in to help us at the retreat has been amazing. And if I could tell the story really quick, my very first retreat I ever did, I was surprised because I was like, man, everyone is like still in their head, like wheels are spinning, thinking about work, like go, go, go. And it took like at least 24 hours for everybody to be in a space where now they can actually kind of be in a more calm, centered state so that they could have these transformative shifts themselves. And so I had asked Jude, I'm like, Jude, is there a better way? Like the retreat is 3 nights. I'm going to have to add on a 4th night, which then the price goes up if I do that, just to give time for the unwinding.
Yeah.
Oh, we can do that with Tai Chi and Qigong. I was like, really? Like, and then it made sense to me when I actually thought about it and the work I've done with him. I'm like, oh, so it's been amazing for Jude to join us right at the beginning, which gets us into that centered state a lot faster. So now it could be a few hours versus a whole entire day that kind of felt not wasted, but like not as productive because we're still trying to unwind. And so the work with Jude, what he brings is amazing to just get us quickly to that centered state so we can get the show on the road. And then on our last day, joining us again to then integrate, so bring together everything that we've experienced in preparation to transition back home. I mean, it's been amazing. I'm just so grateful to have someone like Jude to be able to join us to help us with this process.
Thanks for sharing that. That's really exciting.
Yeah,
That's really exciting. That makes me happy.
awesome.
So, Melissa and I could talk for another hour, but I think we'll end it for today on that. And if you'd like to find out more about Zero Point Tai Chi with me, you can go to my website at zeropointtaichi.com. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And I have a series of videos on YouTube on my Zero Point Tai Chi page. And there's some practice videos, and you can get a feel for my teaching style and things like that and build on what we talked about today. And I think that we should do more of this. This is really fun.
It's so fun. I could talk to you all day.
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
I think you guys, it's your time. Like, change is not going to come from doing everything the same. And I know that there is something churning inside you that wants out. But then how, or is it who? Jude is both, I feel like.
Wow. Wow. That's
So,
great. That's
yeah.
great. Well, thanks, Melissa.
Thank you
Well,
for having me.
yeah, we'll see everybody soon.
All
Thanks.
right, we'll see you later.